Okay, again, this is a continuation of PQ part 1. Recall that in PQ earlier first video, we have found that for Z1, right, the modulus of Z is equals to 2, and the argument of Z is equals to 5 pi over. This is done in the earlier video, 5 pi over 6. And for W, the modulus of W is equals to 4 square root 2, and the argument of W is equals to pi over 4. Okay, and with that, we are going to look at part 2. Part 2, we are looking at 1 over Z asterisk. Okay, part 2, 1 over, we need to express the answer in the polar form. Okay, so let's look at this very quickly. First, let's try to find the modulus. So you want to find the modulus of 1 over Z asterisk. Right, you see the conjugate, you can also divide again. The modulus of the quotient is the same as the quotient of the modulus, and we look at them as two separate complex numbers. Alright, so first, this will just be the modulus of 1 is just 1, right? And what will be the modulus of Z asterisk? Okay, remember I told you the modulus of Z actually is just the same as the mod of Z. Alright, because you think that, for example, if Z is equals to X plus IY, right, the mod of Z is equals to X squared plus Y squared square root, remember? And if we think about conjugate, alright, and you can see that if we were to take the modulus of the conjugate, this is the same as X squared plus negative Y squared, which is the same as X squared plus Y squared. And from these two, I hope you can remember that the mod of Z is the same as the modulus of the conjugate. Okay, so with that, from here, very quickly, remember earlier on we learned that the modulus of Z is just equals to 2, so it's just 1 over 2. Okay, next up, let's try to find the argument of 1 over Z asterisk. This is the same as the argument of 1. Remember, the argument of the quotient is the same as the difference between the two arguments, right? So this is the argument of Z asterisk. Okay, also remember that in our lecture question we have studied the argument of Z asterisk is just the same as the negative of the argument of Z. Okay, so if you don't know what it is, do go and read up on the lecture questions, alright? Or record lecture. So this is just argument of 1 is just 0 because it's on the positive axis. Alright, so if you recall, this is the real Argand diagram, imaginary power Argand diagram, and argument of 1 is just here, right? It's just 1 or 1 comma 0. You can see that the argument is just 0. Okay, argument of Z minus argument, this is the same as the minus the negative of the argument of Z. Alright, and this is the same as 0 plus argument of Z, because argument of Z asterisk is the same as the negative of argument of Z. So 0 plus argument of Z is just 0 plus 5 pi over 6. Okay, and the answer turns out to be 5 pi over 6. Okay, with that, you are done with the finding the modulus and argument. The answer for part 2 just comes out the 1 over Z asterisk, right, equals to R cosine theta plus I sine theta. Okay, and this is for PQ 1 part 2, and we are done.